Hi students, a very pleasant and warm greetings to you all. Hope you are all doing good. I'm very happy to meet you through this online YouTube session. Already you have learned the problem solving techniques. In problem solving techniques, you have seen about function, data abstraction, scoping, algorithmic strategies, and then we saw the core Python. That is, in Pythons, we have seen the variables and operators, control structures, Python function, and about the string and its manipulations. I think first 5 chapters you are thorough, and next chapters also, when you get time, just go through the chapters, and in between, if you have any doubts or if you want me to explain any specific topic also, you can ask me. And then you had the third unit like modularity and OOPS. In that you had some kind of list, tuples, sets, and dictionary. Then Python classes and objects you have learned. And the next one is database concepts and MySQL. In database concept and MySQL, you had the concept about database and then SQL. So I think about structured query language, that is about SQL and database concept you have learned already. And also in integrating Python with MySQL and C++, you have learned about importing C++ programs in Python. And the chapters which are left are in database concept and MySQL. You had one chapter like Python and CSV files, and in integrating Python with MySQL and C++, you have data manipulation through this SQL. SQL already you have studied, structured query language, right? So you are going to manipulate the data through this structured query language, and the last chapter will be we'll be visualizing the data using Python plot, that is PyPlot. Okay, so here we'll be using Python plot, and here you can insert like a line chart, pie chart, bar chart, and all. Already you would have known this. The concept is same like in Excel, and Excel files you'll be having charts, right? Pie chart, flow, this bar chart, and all. Same this charts you will be getting in by this Python language. Here you will be using matplotlib for importing this chart inside this Python. We'll be writing the coding for that. That will be the last chapter. And before that, now we are going to see the 15th chapter. Okay, so 15th chapter is data manipulation through SQL. So data means in 11th standard first chapter itself you have studied. What is data? It is an unprocessed fact, or it has some details about something, right? So if it is a name, Jenny, it is a data. If there is a number, 15, means that is a data, right? And if information and data, that was the difference. About the difference between this information and data only you have learned in 11th standard first chapter, right? So information means the processed data or the collection of facts which will give you a whole detail about something. My name is Jenny. If there is a sentence like this, we'll say it is a processed data or processed fact, and that is known as information. Only the detail or only the name and only the place, only India, Jenny, and number 15. Like this, if it is given, it is raw fact. It is not processed one. So that is data. Okay, so here we are going to manipulate this data through SQL. Okay, so first thing you have to know the difference between the data and information thoroughly. So data is an unprocessed fact or unprocessed information, and here we will be using database. Database means we can say it in two methods. One is it is actually database means you'll have a, it's like a cupboard or it's like a library where you'll be having, library means you'll be having so much of books inside it, right? Inside cupboard also you'll be having so many things like that. So many data will be inside a thing called database. Okay, so database is an organized collection of data. Okay, so this database means we can refer it to two things, that is either the data themselves, we'll say it as database, or the whole system which will manage this data we will say it as database management system. So this one also will be referred as database, and also the data themselves. If in a cupboard, if so many things are there, we'll say it as a cupboard, right? So like that, if so many data are inside as a collection, we'll say it as database. Okay. And database management system means there are so many data inside this database. So to manage all this data, we'll need a management system. So this database management system also will be referred as database, and the data alone, the collection of data also will be referred as database. Okay, so this database management system, it is a software application. Software means, I think you would have known the difference between hardware and software. Hardware means the physical components. Software means the instructions or the programs, right? So the software application is the database management system. And what is the use of this database management system? What is the use of software? It is the basic thing which is done for the interaction between the computer and us, right? So it is the interaction between the user and database. Okay, user is ourselves. The person who is using the system or using the database is called user, and database or the system or programming language, we'll say it as a software, and the interaction between this database and the user uh, is done by the software application, and that is the database management system. Okay, so this user may be a human user, or it may be a program, or it may be an application, or whatever may be. Whatever is using this, whatever is managing this database will be said as database management system. Okay, so this may be an application or program, or maybe human user, maybe us also. Okay, so in this chapter we'll be learning how this Python program can interact with this SQL database, and also with the as like a user, this SQL database is going to interact through this Python program. Okay, so before moving on to the SQL database, first you have to know about SQL. Already in this 12th chapter, your ma'am would have taught you SQL means structured query language, right? So here SQLite. SQLite means this is a simple relational database system. This will have some data, some regular data files will be there, or some memory, internal memory of the computer will be accessed by this SQLite also. This SQLite will save its data, and it will have some regular data files, or it will have the internal memory of the computer also. Okay, this is designed for the application. It's like it will have a separate database for server program. Server program means you'd have heard like Oracle, MySQL, and all. So these are all the server program, database server program. So this SQLite is designed to have embedded in the application. Embedded means embedded. It is inside it. Okay, so what all is there? It will have the applications instead of using a separate database server program. Server program means same like MySQL, Oracle, and that. Okay. SQLite, this is the faster one. This will be testing rigorously. Rigorously means so fast and so accurately it will test this programs, and it is flexible also. So since it is flexible and it is tested, and since it is working fast, what is the use? It will make the work easier, right? Here we are using our Python, right? So this Python has a native library for this SQLite. Okay, so for using this SQLite, you'll be having some steps. Okay, the first step is you will have to import this SQLite. Okay, so here we are having SQLite 3 or 2, or these are all the versions of this SQLite. Okay, so here first step is to import SQLite. Then the next step, the second step is you will have to create a connection using the connect method. Connect method means in MySQL or SQL, everything you would have known that you will have a separate syntax for connecting the database with the data, right? Or with the user. So here we'll be creating a connection using connect off. Okay, connect off method, and it will pass the name of the database file. First, it will connect to the SQLite will create a connection using this connect off method, and it will pass the name of the database file. Okay, then the third step is it will set the cursor object. Cursor is equal to connection dot cursor off. So here we are having the object called cursor, right? So cursor is equal to the object cursor is equal to connection dot cursor off. So here we are connecting to the database in the step 2. Here we are passing the name of the database which has to be accessed, right? So here if the database is already in connection, it will open the same means the which database is already created, or if you will be giving the database name there. If a database is already present there, that database will be opened, or else it will create a new database. You are creating a object, or you are creating a database called student, means it will just check in the database if there is a database called student. If it is there, it will just open that database for using, or else it will create a new database and it will be named as student, and it will be opened there for our use. Okay, and cursor, we have seen the cursor in step 3, right? This is the control structure. Here it is used to traverse and fetch the records of the database. Traverse and fetch. What is the meaning of traverse and fetch? I think you know it. Traverse means it's nothing but travel through the way. Okay. So traverse and fetch. Fetch means searching and getting the thing which you need. It will just travel through it and it will search in the records of the database. Okay, so in this step 3, it is a control structure. This is used to travel and search in the record of the database. Okay, so here this cursor has a main role in working with this Python. Every commands will be executed using this cursor object only. We are using the object called cursor. So all the commands will be executed using this cursor, that object only. Okay, so to create the table inside this database, we'll be using create an object, and then you will be writing the SQL command in it. Okay, so here one example is given, SQL underscore COMM. It is the command. Okay, SQL command is equal to, inside the double quotes you are giving SQL statement. Okay, so here for executing the command using this object, what is the object name? Cursor, right? So this using this cursor method, and to pass this SQL command as a parameter, many commands will be stored inside this SQL command. SQL underscore COMM, we gave this, right? So this can be executed one after the other. If you are having the first command, first it will be executed. If any changes are made in the value which is saved inside that command or inside the record, you will have to type commit. Okay, so before closing the table or before closing the connection, if you are doing any changes in the last line, you have to just mention the word called commit, COMMIT, so that if you have done any changes inside the database or inside the records, it will be saved. Okay, so using this commit command only, you will be saving the changes which you have done. Okay, and the next topic is creating a database using this SQLite. Okay, so one example is also given in this. Already you would have known it. If any line comes in Python program with this hash symbol, you can just ignore the line. It is just for your reference. Okay, so in this program, if you see first, second line and fourth line and then sixth line and all are starting with this hash. So these are all commands. These lines can be ignored. You don't have to learn the line and write. So here if you see, the first line is import SQLite 3. Okay, so that is the first line of this example program. Import SQLite 3. So here you are importing SQLite 3, and the next line is connection is equal to SQLite 3 dot connect off. Inside the connect off, you are giving the database name. Here we are giving the database name as Academy. Okay, ACADEMY. Can you see that inside the connect line? Connection is equal to SQLite 3 dot connect off. Inside the bracket, you are giving the database name as Academy. It must be given inside double quotes, and dot db is for, it is database, right? So we are giving dot db. db stands for database only. Okay, so in connection you are giving the name called academy.db. So here what happens, I have already said you, it will search the database, and if there is a database called academy, it will open it. Or if it is not present, if academy in this name, if no database is there, it will create a new database and it will name it as academy, and it will open the new database which is named as academy. Okay, and the next line is cursor is equal to connection dot cursor of. Cursor, about cursor also we have seen, cursor is the object, right? So here in this example we have seen that a database academy, this would have been created. If it is already present, that particular database would have been opened. Okay, and then it is same like SQL command only. In SQL command you will be giving create database, right? So create database academy means it will create the database with the name academy, or if it is present already, it will open that, or it will show like already existing. So you can show or open academy means it will open, right? So here we are using this line, connection is equal to SQLite 3 dot connect off, and then you are giving the database name. It's not just academy, you can give any name. Okay, if you have created a database already, you can just give that name, or if you want to create a new database with some other name, you can just use that also. Okay, so the next topic is creating a table. Okay, so you have opened the database, or you have created a database named academy, and now you are going to create a table inside this database. So you can just take a library, or you can just take a cupboard there. If you open the cupboard, it will have so many racks, right? So same like that in this database also, you will be having so many data. So inside that, if you create a table, it will be easy for you to fetch the data from the database, right? If you are having 10 racks, means if you are keeping some data in first rack, it will be easy for you to access the first row, second row, third row. Or if you want to keep something in the first row, and you can create another column in the first row. Row and column, you know, right? Row means you can just imagine you are sitting in the class, you are having 5 benches, means each bench will be the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, right? If you are sitting in the first bench, first one means the person who is sitting next to you will be the next column. Okay, who is sitting in the right hand side or left hand side will be the next columns, and who is sitting in the next bench back of you, whoever is sitting, will be the second row, right? So you got the clear idea of row and column, right? So here also you'll be creating a table inside the database to make this database to be fetched easier. Okay, so here you are creating a table. Okay, so after you are creating a database, this database will be empty only. So you just keep it in your mind that you have created a cupboard alone, inside nothing is there. So now you are going to create a table there, or you are going to give racks to that cupboard. Okay, so here you will be using some syntax for creating table. Okay, so the syntax for creating a table is create table. In capital letter you have to give CREATE, create space table, and then you can give a name there. Okay, you are giving student means that student will be the name of the table. Okay, whatever name you are giving will be assigned as the name of this table. Okay, so inside this student of a bracket, you can open the bracket, and inside this bracket you can give the number of columns or rows, whatever you have to you will need it inside the table, you can give it. Okay, so first one, here they are giving roll number integer, and then yes name varchar, grade char, gender char, average float, birth date. So here if you see, you know the data type, right? Data type means already you would have learned. Data type means you will have integer, varchar, char, float, date, and so on, right? So integer means numbers, right? Characters means letters. If you are having like float means pointed numbers, right? If you are having the decimal point in between the numbers, you will be having the values in the left and right side of the decimal point, right? In that case, you will be mentioning the integer as float. Okay, if you are having 32.46 means, if you are mentioning that number as integer means, it will take only the first two numbers, that is 32 alone it will take. If you are mentioning float, if you are mentioning that data type as float means, it will take the values after decimal point also. If you are mentioning the data type as float, it will take 32.46. If you are taking it as integer, it will just save only 32. Okay, clear. So here first roll number is an integer. Roll number means we will know roll number will be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that only will be having the roll number. So it won't have point number. So you are mentioning roll number as integer. And then yes, name. You can give anyone name as var char means it is a variable character, or it will have a collection of characters. Okay, so here inside the bracket they have given 20. That means in this yes name, it will allot 20 boxes. Okay, 20 box means 20 letters you can save. So if it is a name varchar of 20. So if we are name, you can just imagine an example, Janisha. So J will be in the first column. E will be in the next column. Next one, N, I, S, H, A. Like that, each box will be having each letter. So here for the name, we are assigning 20 columns, 20 box. So it is varchar of 20. Okay, next grade char of 1. So it will have only one box. You will be having A or B or C. So only one letter you can give inside this grade char. Okay, and then gender also char, either you can give M or F. So char of 1, so you'll be having only one place there to give the value. Okay, and then average float of 5.2. In this float you can give point values. That means before the point it will be having 5 cells or 5 place, and after the point you'll be having 2. So you can just imagine average float of 5.2. So you'll be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.67. So you can give 5 digits before the decimal point and 2 digits next to the decimal point. That much will be saved. Okay, and then date of birth, that is birth date. So here if you are simply leaving a space, it will consider it as two names, or it will give you error. So in that case we'll be using underscore. I think you all know the underscore there. Hyphen means it will be like minus. If you are putting the minus in the lower part or in the bottom part, we'll be saying it is underscore. So instead of giving space, here we are giving birth underscore date, and then here we are giving the data type as date. Okay, and then primary key of roll number. Primary key means it is unique identifier record. That means uniquely only one, if one roll number 1 is there, only one student will be there with roll number 1. If another student is entering same roll number 1 means, it will just show that it is not unique. So it will identify whether it is unique. Okay, so unique identifier record only is this primary key. Okay, so in this way we will be able to create the table. So today we have seen the basic or introduction about SQLite, and then we have created a database, and then we have created a table inside the database, right? So I'm not taking more. So one day only one page is over, so you just read the chapter, that is our 15th chapter, first 2 pages, just read it and go through this syntax also. Create table means you are having a syntax. To create a database using this SQLite, you are having a syntax, right? So we just go through this syntax, and if you have any doubts, we'll be having Zoom session, And today you can just tag me through the Zoom session, and we'll be continuing the next part in the next section. Session I'll be introducing again about this creating table, and we'll go for the example. Okay. Thank you for your valuable time. Stay home, stay safe, take care. Bye.